All right, match 2 against Mayhem 6. Let's see how we did. All right, it's a good opener. Has a lot of ramp fixing, proliferators. Yeah, looks pretty good. Let's see what we can do here. I go probably Chalice into Augury here. Gonna ramp myself a little bit more. There we go. And I grab a Prologue. Hickory Woodlot may have been the right choice here to continue ramping, but I do have this Prism, so I think it's fine. And this Harvest. And they go Epicure, and they get in for 1. I'll take this opportunity to resolve a Pentad Prism. And probably Prologue. Oh, let's go Vivid Surgeon's Insight here. Yeah, it makes sense. I just want to have a big turn next turn with Weather the Storm. It was a pretty decent hit. I am a little concerned about flooding out here, but I think I should be fine. Alright, I get in. I'm down to 8. Double Weather, that's going to be pretty strong. So I go Pentad Prism, Prologue to infect them, proliferate here. This is adding 1 mana. 1 generic mana, really. And now I can go Thirsting Roots again adding 1 mana. And now I can tap that and start planning. Proliferate, proliferate. Another Thirsting Roots, that was a good pickup. Just adding storm count now, really. And proliferate, proliferate, proliferate. Now I can go Abundant Harvest, naming non-land. Let's see what I hit. Another Chalice. It's possible that I should hold that in hand, but I chose not to. Instead, I decided to use it to gain 3 life, pretty much. Because I already have just tons of generic mana. But I think with Double Weather, maybe it would have been better for me to have held that in hand for Tolarian Winds. And they get in for 4. I draw another Chalice. That one I'll hold. They go Epicure, they go Rebirth, and they get in. Merchant Scroll. So here I have 2 options. I can get Augury or I can get Tolarian Winds. I choose Augury here, but I think maybe Tolarian Winds was the right choice, because I'd have to chain pretty strongly if I were to try and go off with just a single Augury. And I have a lot of life, so I could probably draw a few more cards. Winds probably would have been at the very least to draw 3. So I think that may have been a bad choice on my part. We'll see how it goes. Another land, yeah, looking like Winds may have been the right choice there. And they get in again. Let's see what I draw. Thirsting Roots, not good. And I try and go off a little bit here to see if I can hit something, because I'm a little concerned about a Goblin Bushwhacker. And I'm down to 20, and it's looking like I'll need to hit something big this turn. I hit an Insight, but that's going to use all my blue mana, so I'll need to hit a Manamorphose off of this. I do hit a Manamorphose. I should have filtered a colorless mana there. I don't know why I didn't. But it doesn't matter, because I just drew another land. So I flooded out game 1, got him to 9, but, close is only counts in horseshoes. Let's see how we did for game 2. Okay, game 2. So it looks like for this, I took out 2 Chalice and an Abundant Harvest for... and 2 Chalice and Abundant Harvest for 3 copies of... Oh, what's it called? That Pirate Clasms. Oh, Breath Weapon I have in my hand, yeah, for 3 copies of Breath Weapon. And I took out a 4C for a Hydroblast. Let's see how that went. And this hand looks pretty good. I have access to Breath Weapon, I have Hydroblast, and a Manamorphose. I do not have a Proliferator, though, but hopefully I can draw one. I'm still figuring out what hands are keepable and what hands aren't keepable. I think Breath Weapon's pretty strong in this matchup, so that was a good pickup. So I can go Augury, looking for another land. Yep, another Sandstone Needle's great because of this Manamorphose and these Breath Weapons. This will allow me to Breath Weapon next turn if I need to, without losing my needle. And they get in for 3. So I just probably Breath Weapon now while they're tapped out. And now they go Epicure into Epicure into Coldotha Rebirth. So this second copy of Breath Weapon's looking pretty strong. And here's the Breath... Oh, first I Contentious Plan, that's right. And now I Breath Weapon. And I play another Needle. So it's looking pretty good so far. They only have 2 cards in hand, so... Oh, they go Reckless Impulse, fill up, and yeah, and there they go. They got their field back again. And then they've reloaded. This Manamorphose coming in handy now, because I can get double blue. Probably go... do we go... I should go... Yeah, Vivid Surge's Insight here. Not Sapper and Scary was a huge pickup. So it's... I do need to find some green mana, but I should be able to find it between all of these draw spells. Yeah, it's looking like I'm going to need to weather this upcoming turn. And they decide to Lava Dart for some reason. They should have held that Lava Dart for protection, but it's another Breath Weapon. But I guess they think maybe I only have 2. Go green, green. Well, that's pretty good. I'll probably lead on Prologue here. Prologue into Augury, grabbing probably the Hickory. Oh, I grab another Weather the Storm. That makes sense. It's a strong card in the matchup. And now I go Prologue again into a Thirsting Roots. Pretty good pickup. I'll probably use that for Storm Count. Oh, and I select a forest. That... Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Now I have a permanent source of green. And there we go. And they get in for 3. I can resolve this Everflowing Chalice. And now I can go Insight. Or I'm probably going to wait for Insight, I guess. Proliferate, Proliferate, Proliferate. Another Merchant's Scroll, that's good. And Weather the Storm again. So that's pretty nice. Up to getting some more life here. Let's see what our opponent does. They just get in for 3 again. Oh, they make it a little more. But it's looking like I'm going to take this one. There's Prism, followed up with a Vivisurge, or with an Augury, grabbing another Weather the Storm. I don't know if that was right. Maybe I should have grabbed the Manamorphose there. I mean, I have a lot of mana, but I don't think I need any more life. There's Vivisurgeon's Insight. I draw 3. Another Vivisurgeon's Insight. That was a good pickup. And just keep proliferating away here. I can go... Probably Vivisurgeon's Insight here. Yep, another Vivisurgeon's Insight. Keep proliferating, keep drawing. Boom, 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 boom. There's another copy of Manamorphose. That was a good pickup. That can add more blue. And blue, blue, if I had to guess. Oh, blue, green, alright. And this is going to be a lethal, I believe, because I have enough for Hydroblast backup. Grab that Prologue, tap that, and boom. Alright, that was game 2. Let's check out game 3. Okay, game 3. And it's looking like I kept my sideboarding the same. Let's see how it went. A lot of mana in this hand, but it wasn't keepable. There's no card draw in there. Breath Weapon's pretty good. I have a couple pieces of card draw, so this is keepable. Probably lead on the Needle in case I need a Breath Weapon next turn. They go Implement into Great Furnace into Chain Lightning, which I'm fine with. Yeah. One of the things I like about the Breath Weapon strategy is with Weather the Storm, them just going face with their burn spells usually isn't going to be good enough. It does look like they're holding up red. They have the past couple turns now, so they might have a Pyroblast in hand. And I go Manamorphose, blue, blue, and I just go for it. Yeah, they Pyro. A little risky there. Maybe I should have waited, but or led on the Contentious Plan instead. It's possible. Contentious Plan, oh, into another one. But I do have the Scary here, but it's looking like I might need to sacrifice my Hickory Woodlot. There's a Rebirth into an Epicure, leaving one open. Another Scary is pretty good, so let's see what I do here. Go for another Vivisurgeon's Insight. Fortunately, they didn't have another Pyro. This allows me to Breath Weapon, and now I pass a turn back. This Tolarian Winds is looking like it's going to be pretty strong here. And this weather as well. And here they Chain Lightning me. They only have 3 cards in hand, so I'm not too concerned about them killing me. Because they would need, all 3 of them would need to be instants. And there's a prologue, and boom, 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 boom. And I prologue them. I go Augury into Contentious Plan, Proliferate, Proliferate. And I go Contentious Plan again. Thirsting Roots, Weather the Storm, and it looks like they drew another instant off of that loot. Yeah, and unfortunately that is lethal because of the Lava Dart. So they got me there. I probably should have not gone down to 8. It was a little risky. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, their opponent got there, and I didn't. I'm not the only one who can draw well. Alright, and that was the match. Unfortunately, I lost that one. Alright, and this is match 3 of the league. This one was against Ponza, and it's a pretty big beating for me. I mean, sometimes I can win if they draw poorly. So I'm only going to show the first game, because the second game was, because the first game was pretty short. The second game was just also a beating, but I did manage to, interact a little bit and get my hands around my head, but they still just beat me down just a lot slower. So I decided to only show the one here to save myself some time. So let's take a look at this the beating I'm about to receive here. Unkeepable hand, cannot keep that. I can keep it because of this Thirsting Roots will get me an island. Our opponent goes Arbor Elf, which immediately is a bad sign for me. And I go Hickory Woodlot. And they go Get In for 1, which is a great sign. So I was here, I'm thinking, oh, maybe they don't have the land destruction. I was thinking maybe I'll be okay here. Play an island, and I go Augury. I grab a Prologue, because I do not need any red mana now. They go that, and of course, they have the Acid Moss. I play the Hickory Woodlot here, because I already have a blue source, and let's see what they do. They go boom, 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 into a Dinosaur, which cascades into a boarding party, and that means that I am dead next turn, so I just concede. The biggest problem with land destruction is that all my lands enter the battlefield tapped. If I got to use them once before they blew them up, I might be able to do something, but it's just, there's no way I can come back from that. Gaining, 3 life isn't going to do anything here. Alright, and like I said, I'm just going to show the first game. So let's move on to match 4. Okay, match 4. Pretty good hand, I'll keep it. Has all my colors, it has some good ramp, has a Merchant Scroll, and a Contentious Plan. Hopefully I can keep drawing card draw. That's a Fjord, so looking like we're up against UR. I don't know what kind of UR yet. We'll find out soon. Probably just keep ramping out here. This is what I like to do when I have lands against blue decks. You usually want to keep land heavier hands because you can kind of bully them with your land drops. It's harder to win when you don't have land heavier hands against blue. And there's a Sandstone Needle. I just keep passing the turn. See, they discarded, so I could have gone off here. Yeah, so it's UR Fey. I could have tried to go off, but they just discarded a Scred, so I'm in no hurry right now. And there's they get in for 1 with Spell Sorter Sprite, and they cast a Augur of Bolas, rather. And I take this opportunity to infect them, because I don't think they have any 1-mana spell that might disrupt me from casting these Thirsting Roots. So I go Thirsting Roots, which is mana neutral. Proliferate, Proliferate, Proliferate. And now I can go probably Merchant Scroll, or I guess Contentious Plan first. Yeah, you usually want to use your cantrips first, because Merchant Scroll reduces your density. Scary, which I play. Merchant Scroll, probably getting an Augury. So now I can Thirsting Roots again. Or I guess I use it now. Metamorphose. Prism's a good pickup. Play the Prism, and now I can Augury. What do I hit? Oh. Oh, I guess Thirsting Roots first. Yeah, Weather the Storm's not probably going to be necessary now. And I can grab another Augury, which I can cast this turn. So I'm probably going to try and cast out as many cards as I can while they're tapped out. And I'll pick up that 4C. That's going to be a good way of filling up my hand. And I can cast a 4C this turn. And I'll bottom the Prism. I'll probably go Prologue, Metamorphose, Winds, or I guess maybe just Winds, Prologue. It doesn't really matter, the order, because the Prologue will draw me. I'll draw the Metamorphose next turn. And I choose not to bottom the Metamorphose, even though it's kind of reducing my scry, because I realized it's probably better to like just have it in hand, even though it's not the most value out of your scry. It's probably better just to have the Metamorphose in hand rather than have it in your deck. Especially because I have this Tolarian Wind, so I am trying to fill up my hand pretty quickly here. If I didn't have the Winds, maybe I would have bottomed the Metamorphose and left it in my deck. They go to ice my Chalice, so here I can go off a little bit because I tapped out. I go Prologue, and now I can go Metamorphose, going blue-blue if I had to guess. Yep, into an Augury. Pretty good hit. And here I take the Augury again, because I might be able to kill them, especially if I'm feeling frisky with this Tolarian Winds. But that's 1, 2, 3 Augury right now. I take the Insight, because it plays around Spellstutter Sprite nicely. And if they can't counter the Insight, they will be dead next turn. I do not go for the Tolarian Winds here, because I have a lethal spell in hand. And they get in. So here I noticed something pretty nice about Tolarian Winds. When your hand looks like this, it's very good against counter magic, because it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for the opponent. So I'll lead on the Winds, expecting them to counter. If they don't, then I draw 4 cards here, because I don't need this Winds. And if they do, then I can just resolve this Insight and win. Yep, and they counter the Insight, and now I can go they counter the Winds, so now I can go Insight and finish the game. And they concede. Alright, let's go to game 2. Alright, game 2. I took out 2 Chalice, an Abundant Harvest, and 2 Weather for 2 Scattershot, and 2 Scattershot, 2 Dispel, and 1 Pyro. I didn't bring in my Hydro, even though I know they have Pyroblast in their deck, just because I think it's not going to be... It only hits Pyro, really, that I'm concerned about, so it doesn't have that much high value. I didn't bring in my Breath Weapon, because unlike Mono U, they don't actually have that many... it's a little hard... It's not as good. Mono U, Breath Weapon's much stronger. But I did bring in my Scatter Shots, because Scatter Shots great against all forms of fairies, or all forms of fae. Okay, and let's just press play here and see how I did. It's a pretty good opener. I like the Pyro in there. I currently don't have the red mana, but it does have Dispel, so it's a pretty heavily protected hand, and it has a lot of good cantrips plus an Augury, so it should work pretty well for me here. Their opponent leads on Fairy Seer. I think that's probably the best start that UR Fae can have. And I go Sappers and Scary. Let's see if they ninja me here. They do. So I'll likely resolve the Augury here after playing a Scary to make my counters high on both my blue lands. But let's see if that is in fact what I did. No, I did the Woodlot instead and pass. Oh, which makes sense because they played a mountain. So I can't play... They played a mountain, I'm not going to play directly into Pyro. Or any of their blasts that they might have. They go Ash Barrens, and they get an island, and they pass the turn. So here I suspect they have a Spellstutter Sprite. Likely I'll still just play the Scary and pass, and then try and do something on their end step. Try and tap them out. They get him with Hacker again. Again, Hacker is just looting, so I'm not overly concerned about it. I mean, they're low on lands right now, so they would need to probably loot away action. Or to pay one to put another ninja into play. Here I go prologue. That allows me to go augury. Let's see if they counter this. They don't, so that means they probably don't have anything, because that was a good one to counter if they had the counter. And they discard a Bolas, which lets me go Pentad Prism. And now I'm completely protected against anything they might have. So I can go off a little bit here. Contentious Plan, Proliferate. And they go Shattering Blow, so I can dispel that. Proliferate, proliferate, proliferate. You could consider allowing that to go. I don't think it's worth it, though. I think your prism's pretty important. And I go Chalice. Now I can go Merchant Scroll, or I guess another Augury. I was tempted to take that Scatter Shot, but I decided I better just keep up drawing cards. And now I can pass the prism back with 2 counters on it, so should they try to destroy it, at the very least I can use the mana. And they get in for 2. And they decide just to loot, and they get rid of the Fairy Seer there. And they tap out for a Augur of Bolas, only leaving up 1 counterspell, and they reveal a counterspell. So let's see what I do here. Scatter Shot's pretty good. I go Merchant Scroll, grabbing a Dispel, and now I can go Experimental Augury. Again, I'm trying to tap them down here, and I grab a Vivisurgeon's Insight. Proliferating. And now I go Manamorphose, and they choose to Hydro here, which means that I'll use the Dispel. And I mean, I want the mana, I want to draw a card. Sure, I don't have that for Counterspell anymore, but it should be fine, because I can resolve this Vivisurgeon's Insight here at the very least. And there's my Vivisurgeon's Insight, proliferating away. And I might hold this Augury for next turn. Oh, and here, yeah, I think I forget to play my Sandstone Needle here, which is a pretty big misplay, because it means that if I do end up using all of my Pentad prisms, I'll be cut out of red, and I have this Pyro in hand. So now I go for C. Probably bottoming everything except for that other 4C. So 3 bottom, yep, 1 top. And I should have played the Needle that I have in hand, but I believe I forgot that I still had a land drop to make. So I wiped their field here. And unfortunately, I did not play that Needles, which means I'm giving my opponent an extra turn to kill me, because I don't have Pyro up here. So it's really important that you keep track of what you're doing while you're playing this deck. I mean, that's true for any deck. But I've been struggling lately with paying attention and keeping track. And they get in for 2 with their Ninja. And they draw a card. And they go Maestro's Theater. I guess they like the life gain. And there's a Thirsting Roots. So I'm feeling pretty strong right now. They'll probably be able to counter both of like my 4C and my Pyro, but then that lets me resolve this Vivisurgeon's Insight. They go Counterspell, I Pyro, and they go Spell Search Despite, tapping the red, so that was pretty big, because that means they don't have Pyro up themselves. Now I can go Vivisurgeon's Insight, drawing 3, boom, 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 boom. That weather is pretty nice, but I'm pretty sure they're just dead, because I have 2 Thirsting Roots and a Prologue in hand. So I'll probably go Roots into Prologue to save some time. Or I go Prologue first for some reason, and I finish them off with Roots. Alright, and that was the match against UR And I will upload the final match of this league probably on Monday or sometime next week. I don't know. I actually didn't have very much free time this week at all. So that's why I'm only uploading this now. So hopefully I'll have some more free time. I'm going to be very busy this weekend, though. Alright, that was that, and have a good one.